Alright, who's ready to do the morning routine? Are you sure? Money's a renewable resource. I am all the money I need. I am what it takes to be successful. It's all inside of me. I'm aligned with the divine because I am the divine. Yeah, I know I'm walking the fine line, but that's inside your mind. I ain't self-law and master, forecaster of my own fortune. That's why I speak with caution. I don't talk.
What's up, y'all? It's that time again for another episode of Columbus Black on Blast from your main man Kevin Lloyd. And I am here today, and I am more than excited and elated about the person that I'm going to be interviewing today. You all know her. She is from Columbus, Ohio. She's going to be on the show in a minute. Her name is Dickson, and if you don't know, you better get ready. But in the meantime, in normal fashion, I want to make sure that you all know exactly how to find out what's going on in the capital city. So visit ColumbusBlack.com if you haven't seen it. If you haven't been there before, you see the shirt. ColumbusBlack.com, that's how you find out about a lot of cool things that's going on right here in the capital city. And don't forget to check out our job board, right? So if you're looking for a job, this is the place that you can go. If you are a company or work for a company that's talking about diversity and inclusion being important and a priority, you should be posting your jobs on ColumbusBlack.com because we have the best talent in Central Ohio for you. And in addition to that, make sure you visit MYLE, that's M-Y-L-E, stands for Make Your Life Entertaining. It's the app where you can find events, share events, post events, and promote events, all tied to your location. So it updates based off of where you are anywhere in the world. Now, without further ado, I want to spend the rest of our time talking about you. Welcome to the show, Dawn.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I gotta get my energy up.
I know.
Hey, good morning.
Exactly, right? It's one of those. It's kind of a cloudy, kind of dreary day, so.
It is.
But you're gonna bring some sunshine here, right?
Yes, your energy is contagious. So
There
I'm feeling it. So
all
thanks
right.
for having me today, for sure.
No problem at all. Excited to have you. All right. So why don't we start off with this, Dawn? We want to talk about who, right? Because I've had a chance to get to know you over a number of years.
Long time.
But there's a lot of people who don't have any idea who Dickson
Y'all
is,
know who
right?
I am.
If you don't know, you're going to know real soon, right? So why don't you tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, all that good stuff.
Of course, the name Dickson. From Columbus, Ohio, born and raised, Columbus Public Schools, Independence High School, Fort Hayes.
All right, shout out.
Graduate of Ohio State, so I'm all the way in deep.
There it is.
And I went to DeVry here, so
Oh, wow.
I'm all the way in deep here in Columbus.
Nice.
Been an entrepreneur basically my entire adult life. Started my first business here in Columbus. Once again, my first tech company, the Urban Star.
Okay.
In 2001, and just been going from there. It's been an 18-year
2001,
journey.
18 years as an entrepreneur.
Yes, and my first, and what back then it wasn't called a tech company.
Right.
It was just I'm launching a website.
Mm-hmm.
And little did I didn't realize 2 years later, like, wow, this was a real tech company because we were coding everything from scratch. There weren't any templates. There weren't any. So, I feel like now I'm like a vet in the tech game.
You were a pioneer.
A pioneer. That's a good word. I like that.
Check that out.
I like that.
That's good stuff.
So, that's a little bit about me. I've been living all over the country, and now I'm back in Columbus and building another business. Nice.
Congratulations. We're going to talk a little bit more about all of that as well, right? Because we want to really make sure everybody understands your background and how you got to where you are today. All right. Sure. Anybody you want to give a shout out to while we're here today?
Definitely want to shout out my very first business partner, Brandon Craft, all the way down in Florida. He was my first partner, and he still works with me. He does all of our branding for my other business, Flat Out, and I want to also shout out my content director, Chris, my team for Popcom, Kaleem, Dan, for just holding it down. Yeah, just the team. Just Columbus for always supporting me. First of all, Columbus, you guys have supported me since day one, back in 2001, and still even today, what I'm working on, a lot of our traffic comes from Columbus. It's in the top rankings. Our investments come from Columbus. So the love that I get from my hometown is just incomparable. So I'm so happy. Amazing. So thank you all just for being true, Columbus is it's real. It's a real city.
Well, I would have to say this. You earn that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, the support that you're receiving is because of who you are and what you're doing. And I would have to say that we're proud of you and excited for you. So I don't think that's going to stop. So you keep going and we're going to keep going.
Thank you.
Right?
That's love.
Good stuff. No doubt. No doubt. All right, so let's go from there. So what in the world are you doing, Dawn? what is going on? Like, what are you doing? What are you working on? Tell us about the business.
You know, I'm going to focus on one thing.
Okay,
because as you know,
yeah,
it's important to have multiple streams of income and to be doing multiple things.
For sure.
But, you know, it is always important to have a focus, because my favorite quote is, a fool is a jack of all trades and a master of nothing. So I believe in mastery. I believe in putting in that 10,000 hours. If you read, you know, Malcolm Gladwell, I do believe that is a real thing. And so I've spent time to master things. So now, you know, I'll breeze through Flat Out of Heels. Flat Out of Heels is rollable ballet flats. And started that company in 2001.
Right.
And that was with the goal of just selling shoes and vending machines for women when their feet hurt.
Yeah.
In nightclubs, airports, convention centers, at conferences, wherever they're at, needed to get relief. So me launching that business and then becoming a vending operator, so like operator as in selling my product in a vending machine, I realized that there was some real voids in the vending industry when it comes to technology. And from operating an e-commerce store, I was used to getting so much data analytics. I'm sure you rely on, you know, you can get your views, your click-throughs. I mean, you have a website for years, so you know we rely on those metrics, even in e-commerce and in media, to understand who's consuming our content, or who's purchasing, where they come from, how long they're there, their heat mapping, and just send them an email like, hey, come back. But when I was selling my shoes in vending machines, I sold over 10,000 pairs, and I wasn't even able to get a single customer email. We know how important those emails are. We know how important the ability to like understand our demographic, or who our customers are, to grow. And so that's when I was like, okay, this industry overall, first of all, I see nobody that looks like me. Zero people. I didn't see anybody that looks like me. And then I didn't see any technology. It was a very antiquated industry. I mean, it's come from coin vending. The history of vending was really a money laundering business set up in the 30s, cash business. And it was an easy way, vending routes and things like that. But now as we're growing in technology, in countries like China, Japan, they're leaps and bounds ahead of us in this area. I said, okay, I've been in tech all these years, but now I'm ready to do something very disruptive. And I said, I'm gonna tackle this. I'm gonna develop software that makes vending machines and kiosks collect the same level of data that you get from e-commerce. Now keep in mind, I'm not a software developer. You know, I'm considered a non-technical founder, even though I went to school for IT almost 20 years ago. It's not the same as full stack development. I don't know the code that's in my stack. But I was able to, my gift is to bring the right people together. And I've always had that gift to just bring the right people together to get things done. So the company Popcom, that's the software company. We have software and we have hardware for vending machines and digital kiosks. And how we collect this data, because you know, in the e-commerce environment, the way that businesses track customers through their IP address, that unique address that your computer or your phone or your iPad or whatever has to identify that device. And then you can say where that device is geolocated, how long that device spent on that site, if that device converted or not, and all those things. Well, in the physical brick and mortar retail environment, the equivalent to an IP address is actually the human body. You are the person. And so I'm like, how can we get this data and be, you know, not intrusive, not violate any privacy, because we all know these privacy, it's a real thing now.
It really is.
In reality, you know, we don't have any privacy. It's an illusion. But you know, I want to make people as comfortable as possible. So we use face recognition to capture the human body, the person engaging. But we use blockchain and biometric hash that then makes that person anonymous. So basically, instead of saying Kevin Lloyd is at the vending machine, it'll say a male around this age was smiling, he made a purchase, and that's all the data that we get, because your face is not stored. It records you as a biometric hash, which basically is a string of numbers, letters, and symbols that represent whatever it is that it's, you know, representing.
So that person's privacy is actually protected because you're
100% protected. And the only way to access that data that the customer has stored is through unlocking that through a QR code with a smart contract on the blockchain. So that's what we've developed. If we don't need that level of security, because in most cases, a customer wouldn't need to verify their identity to purchase some clothing or a jacket or,
right.
you know, flat outs.
Yeah.
But if you want to purchase a product that's regulated, including cannabis,
Mm-hmm.
alcohol, pharmaceuticals, then you have to identify yourself.
Absolutely.
But you don't have to still say it's Kevin Lloyd. You can. It will say this is a verified.
Right.
So either verified to be 21 for alcohol, verified to be of age to consume cannabis to the legal amount to be compliant, verified that this is your prescription, but it still doesn't give up your identifying information.
Okay.
So this is actually a real use case for blockchain, and your data is secure for the first time. Like, blockchain can allow things to be securely stored on that ledger that can't be hacked. It's very hard to hack into. They hack into every single computer, every single node in order to do that. So, you know, that's what I'm working on. It's pretty, you know, it's pretty high tech, but I love it. You know, it's a challenge, and I felt like, you know, let me just jump all in and get into AI, get into face recognition, get into blockchain, like, you know, because I feel like I'm a tech nerd at heart, and I wanted to find a way to really leverage this that was a market demand, because we see a lot of new businesses coming out and have great ideas. But I wanted to really capture a huge market. Yeah. Because I'm going for, you know, a nice exit. I'm going for a nice exit. I'm going for a nice retirement. I want to build a business that is very attractive for other companies to acquire. So that's what I'm doing.
So that's a lot. Right? So, but this is what we're going to do. I want to make sure for our viewers we simplify that to a degree, right? Because I think you've known and you've seen this too, where a lot of people, especially African Americans, are afraid of tech, right? We hear this tech thing. And even if we heard what you just went through, if they're not familiar with blockchain and AI and all of those things, they're like, what in the world is all of that?
But it's in their lives every day.
Every day. We're living it, right?
They're engaging with it. You definitely have engaged with something with blockchain. You definitely are. AI is a part of your life.
Absolutely.
Face recognition is on your phone. Every time you put the bunny ears on Instagram or Snapchat, that's face recognition. Yeah. So it's in our lives. So let's break that fear and that stigma around technology. So
that's the part I wanted you just kind of hit it, right? That's the simplification piece, is to help people understand how in our everyday to-day life this technology is being used. And for me, I'm trying to make sure, like, if we go back to how you even came up with your ideas around flat out of hills in a vending machine, right? How did you come up with that idea?
I mean, mainly I was living in Miami at the time on South Beach. Living my best life.
For sure.
And I was partying a lot. Bottom line, I was out, you know, doing events at the time. Remember, that's how I started, and I was actually just partying and seeing a lot of women walking barefoot. And it's just.
And you were like,
there got to be a better way.
Right.
So, for me, it was like an idea. My aha moment was I was out in February 2011. And I was like, man, my feet hurt. I wish I could just get some flats from a vending machine. And on South Beach, stores are open really late. But you can buy, and I'm like, can I buy some flats? These shoes were like $50 to $100.
Wow.
For some look, because it's a tourist.
Yeah, that's right. So they're taking advantage of it.
And I'm like, no, you know, I think if I put some vending machines in clubs, hotels, selling rollable flats you can put in your bag, or flats that just fold up, not disposable but just compact, that they would really be a hit. And so I believe, and this is a proven model now, if you have a business idea, before you jump all in, do your market research. Interview people, understand the market, understand the earning potential, understand what it takes to grow the business. And when I just calculated everything, ran the numbers, it just made sense. The manufacturing made sense. You know, the ability to distribute them in that way totally made sense. I did a lot of surveys. I went to Facebook. The #1 respondents was Columbus, Ohio, as always, showing love. And overwhelmingly, women were like, I will buy this. And so I put it out, and the vending machines wasn't ready. I had to get those custom built. So I just launched flat out online as an online store, Brandon Craft, and he built the website, he built the logo. And it was just a site. We sold two colors, couple styles, posted it on Facebook, and just got showing up. People just bought the product. I mean, day one, people just started buying the product from Facebook, from the great people that supported me from day one, and they started buying them, and it really took off from there. And you know, it was just identifying a need. And I didn't see any competitors in the space. So it's like a problem, and then you solve it. And that's the cycle for entrepreneurship. It doesn't really matter the industry. If you can run a business, those skill sets transfer to whatever industry. So it's like identifying a problem and solving that problem, as you've done many times. I've seen you be a consistent problem solver.
I appreciate it.
You know.
So so you just hit it, and that's what I wanted everybody to get from it, right? You identified a problem, you solved it, not just once, but you kept on doing it. So flat out, then guess what? You did the same thing with Popcom because it allowed you to identify a massive, massive industry problem.
But it was something that I felt, and it's important because it's important. And I think most businesses are successful when the founder experiences the problem firsthand.
Right.
And has the access to be able to really talk to the people who also experience that problem. So I would have never dreamed in a million years that I'd be in the vending business. Like what?
Like you would,
My degree's in journalism, IT, fundraising. How am I in vending? But it was a real problem because I wanted women to get relief quick. They're coming out the club. It's not sustainable or scalable to have a store because they can't.
Absolutely
I can't operate that. I can't have staff 24/7. A vending machine. There it is. Then when I got the vending machine, I'm like, okay, it works selling shoes, but I can't even send an email address. Who are these people? We have like 20 styles. I'm only selling 2 in the vending machine because it's compact. I want to remarket them. I want to bring them into my funnel, which means I want to be able to continue to promote my products to them and make them a customer. And I couldn't do that. That was the problem I felt. So I was like, you know, I wonder if other people that are selling products and vending machines experience this. And then it made me think too, this is probably why we don't see regular consumer products and vending machines here beyond snacks, beverages. You only see those Best Buy machines and the ones in the airport. Where else do you really see other products sold? And I believe it's because of the lack of data. And when I went out and validated that, I interviewed over 100 operators, manufacturers, and retailers. And it was an overwhelming, yes, we need data. We want this. Please build this. If you build it, I even got LOI signed. Like, if you build it, we'll buy it. So then I took those LOI to investors and was like, listen, I gotta market. Let's go.
So
run me that.
What a segue. So talk through that, right? So you get the LOIs, you've been out here, you validated that there's a need and a demand, and then you go on this journey. Talk to us about this journey, the real talk. What's going on? And I know, because I'm close to what you do, that there are really great days and then there's some days that are a little difficult. But help us understand, as an entrepreneur out here leading the way again, as a pioneer in this industry, what's it like for you?
I mean, it's funny because like the great day and the worst days, sometimes the same day.
Same day.
Sometimes the same day. You can get the best news of your life and you get the worst news of your life. And that's why I really understand, I've really taught myself over these years to just stay even and stay balanced. So I never get super excited and I never get super disappointed. Because I know, like, just that's how it is. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that image. I use it in my speeches where it talks about life of an entrepreneur. You wake up and it's like, oh, my life is good. And then you're like, oh, I hate my life. It's like, why did I do this? What, you know, it's like all these ranges of emotions. So that perfectly captures like what I go through, and especially being in an industry that I'm not a coder. So I have to rely on somebody to build my software, even though it is my CTO, even though he's on the team and he's awesome, it's still my vision. And I can't go and just execute it. I don't build hardware. I'm not a mechanical engineer. And I've had overwhelmingly difficult challenges around bringing hardware to market as an inventor. You know, I have 2 patents pending, 1 patent pending on my hardware and 1 patent pending on my software. And I had to write these patents out of my head, of course with my patent attorney, but the product wasn't built. Because you have to write the patent and then you get a year to build it. Because you have to hold your position. I'm like, okay, U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, I want to build this software for vending machines that does this. I submit it. It's called a provisional. You got a year to make it real and then update your patent like, all right, I built it. And you're holding that IP, saying, I had the idea first, let me build it. So I had to find somebody to build it. It's a process. It's a process. And then finding somebody to build it, got it built once, $85,000, didn't work. Had to have somebody build it again. On the hardware side, we went through now 3 full iterations. So 3 different hardware iterations means versions. 3 different versions of the hardware, and now we're on our 4th version. And you know,
that's a serious process.
It's a lot. And so I've been working on this particular, you know, bringing the software and the hardware to market since 2016 when I pivoted to the software. engaged with Rebel One Ventures summer 2016, and really started to. First of all, nobody would give me any money. Nobody wanted to deal with hardware. Really? It's not sexy. They don't like hardware. They want software. Yeah. So nobody would invest in me. I had one angel investor in 2012 that was a friend. That's how I funded my business. Wow. Urban Star included. My father, close friends. Right. You know, Flat Out was funded by my college friends and my friends.
True friends and family.
Yeah, true friends and family. I had one VC check for Flat Out. Shout out to Backstage Capital.
Nice.
Arlen Hamilton.
Right. Yeah.
And then the rest, you know, they were like, nah, I'm not investing in this. I just don't see how this is gonna work. Wow. And so it took me to have to really, you know, fight hard to validate it and bootstrap, which means, you know, what it sounds like. Pull yourself up in bootstraps. Come up with your own money. Yeah. Struggle. Be lean.
Right. The ramen noodles lean.
I mean, well, me, I wouldn't do ramen noodles, but hey, I was on smoothies.
You was on smoothies.
Hey, I didn't get a solid meal today. I'm gonna get me some smoothies. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of times like that, and I feel like it doesn't go away. The challenges never go away. They're just different types of things. Okay. But for me, like, what keeps me going and what is because I know there's a demand for it. Yeah. And no matter what they kept saying, I talked to 100 people.
Yeah.
So you sitting there telling me, VC, that this isn't going to work. You don't know what you're talking about because you're not in this industry, and you don't feel this pain point. Yeah. I did feel the pain point. Absolutely. That's the reason why it's important to do something that you felt, because if you're looking at somebody else's situation like, oh, they need this, you can't speak for them. Right. You know, you have to start something that you know, and that's what kept me going on this journey. When they wouldn't fund me, I finally. What got me my first check was the pivot. Was not even a pivot. I don't even know. Was the application of the use case of cannabis. This is in 2016.
Yeah. So talk about that. Yeah.
I said, okay, y'all not feeling me like saying we need to sell shoes and toiletries and everything in vending machines that's at a convenience store. Right. That's what I was saying first before Bodega. Okay. Keep in mind, they got funded $2.5 million. Like that.
Interesting.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, and I can talk about that too. I mean, look at my appearance. That has something to do with it, and that's real.
We'll talk. We'll do the real talk again.
We can talk about that later. But it was the cannabis angle, and I said, okay, all right, y'all don't want to sell that, but we have a real issue in legal states and in medical states. Which 2016, it wasn't as many legal states as it is now, but you know, around compliance and around speed of transaction and around the cost that dispensary owners pay to keep staff. So most businesses, when you have employees, you can include that as a write-off. It's an expense for your business. Right. Cannabis dispensaries cannot include their employees.
Are you serious?
They cannot.
I did not know that.
Yes, they cannot include their employees. So the less overhead they have from human resources, the better for their cash flow. Right. Automation can improve that. We see all these businesses now. Now, keep in mind, I've been talking about this since 2011. Yeah. This is before McDonald's had kiosks. This is before any of these were in the market. I was just super early. Yeah. I said, okay, this industry is more open-minded. So let me go to the cannabis angle. Right. And so when I presented that and came up with a use case for cannabis to sell cannabis and vending machines, you know, I got an investor in Colorado to say, all right, build this out. We'll give you an investment to come and just figure this out. And I moved to Colorado for 4 months.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
I lived in Boulder, Canopy Boulder. So, you know, shout out to Canopy Boulder for being my first institutional check that came from the ARC Group, which is the #1 cannabis industry investor in the United States. Okay. So that got it rolling. That gave me enough capital to just get it started, start building software. And, you know, the thing about investors in general, especially institutional investors, they're on the bandwagon. They want it when it's hot. They don't want to be the first check-in.
That's right.
They just
That's the hard part. Who else is in, right?
Who else is in on the deal? That's all they want to know, you know? And so I had got the one in, and then after that, it just started coming in. Backstage Capital came in again, so they invested in both of my companies.
Outstanding.
And then I got into Techstars. And once Techstars got in,
that was it?
It was it. That was the validation. That's like, Techstars is an accelerator program. If you have never heard of it, it's technology accelerator program. It's one of the top in the world. Right. And it's like the Harvard, it's like Ivy League of technology acceleration companies. I mean, some of the top companies, big companies like Uber and Airbnb. They went through Techstars and Y Combinator. And, you know, some of these big companies that make it to unicorn status go through these programs.
Yeah.
And so once I got that stamp, it was all good. You know, it started rolling. That for a minute.
Okay.
It was all good for a minute. It was all good for a year.
So that was for a minute. Why did it slow down?
It didn't necessarily slow down, but my perspective changed.
Okay.
Because, you know, being an entrepreneur this long.
Yeah.
I know you know this. We were here building businesses in Columbus in the early 2000s. Wasn't nobody talking about investments. What's a VC?
Right.
What is that? I never heard that.
Yeah.
What's a angel investor? I never heard of that. I didn't realize that my dad was an angel investor by investing in Urban Star. But nobody was talking to us the way there wasn't, you know, what you did last night. There wasn't Black Tech Columbus. There wasn't Black Hack. Nobody's talking about this. It was literally a handful of us, including you, figuring this stuff out. Yeah. And so I'm like, once I realized, wait a minute, they're getting money like this. What we built with Urban Star would have been $1 million business if we were in Silicon Valley. With what we were able to disrupt. You know, and no one ever told me, do you know you can do more with this? Yeah. And so when I realized this was going on, I'm like, okay, I want a piece of that. And then when I heard, like, Black people don't get any money, I'm competitive. Yeah. I'm competitive. And I'm like, nah, I can do that. Okay. I can get that. So for me, it was just being competitive. Oh, Black women only get 0.002.
Right.
Watch me do it. Watch me do it. You know, Black women can't raise $1 million. Watch me do it. Right. So that was my motivation. And you know, VCs won't give us checks. Watch me get checks. Yeah. And so I went through that VC model, that VC roadmap, but it's really not set up for us. Okay. It's really not set up for.
So what do you mean by that? Like we talk about that, right? We keep saying we don't have. One of the reasons why we're not as successful as we can be is we don't have access to capital to help with these ideas. These great, by the way, and brilliant ideas that we have. What do you mean we don't get these dollars? Like, what have you seen? Because it's real, but I don't think everybody realizes how real it is and how difficult it is because of the color of your skin.
Yeah, it is. It's really. There's a couple of things that I want to touch on. One, you know, why is that? It's called pattern matching. Okay. So when the VC industry became a thing, venture capital, it really just was like invented in the 60s or 70s with these IBMs and these companies in Silicon Valley, you know, which is basically outside of San Francisco, Palo Alto, in California, and they're just building these tech companies really on the back of Stanford University. Right. And these are white people. Okay. And they're growing the businesses. Their friends are investing as, you know, venture capitalists are coming together, pooling money and investing in companies. Right. And everybody's they're white, and because that's who's there. Right. I don't think it was intentional. Like, leave out the Black people. It's just like they're not there. Yep. They're not there. So when we started to get a model and a pattern of what a successful technology founder looks like, it's based on everybody that's been getting funded from day one, which are white men, not even white women, white men. Okay. So then the white women started to be like, wait a minute, you know, we're being left out, and which, by the way, white women only get like 3% of funding. Right. It's so still white male dominated. Yeah. I mean, all minorities. In 2019. In 2019. Wow. And I believe still in 2019, Black women are less than 1%. Now, we've seen issue in Vanity Fair, and there's a report called Project Diane. I encourage people to look at that. Project Diane from Digital Undivided, that really gives statistics around Black women raising money specifically. But there was like 25 Black women that raised over $1 million. To frame this for you, the average seed round of just companies, 1.4 million. So when I'm talking about seed of everybody. So we're saying the average Black woman raises, $42,000. $42,000 is what the average Black woman raises. $42,000.
That's sickening.
$42,000. But to get $1 million is monumental. That's low. We burned through that quick. Absolutely. So even though I've raised 1.4, almost 1.5 for Flat Out and Popcom's at 900. Yeah. That ain't enough.
It's still nowhere near enough.
Not enough. Yeah. And what happens is the push from media and from everybody, like, wait a minute, these numbers are terrible. Black women aren't getting money. You need to be more diversity and inclusion, diverse. Right. What I've seen happen is they're like, all right, we're going to give y'all a chance. We're going to cut some seed checks. Okay. So if anybody's familiar with the way the venture capital system is structured, you go raise a friends and family round, or you bootstrap, you self-fund. Right. So like to get to what they call MVP, minimum viable product, which is like the baseline of what you can put out to show, like, I can build this, it works, people want it.
Right.
It doesn't have to be fully operational. If you want to do an app, you can do a wireframe. Which a wireframe is just basically a graphic design of exactly what it looks like, and you can just show how it works, but it doesn't actually, it's not coded.
Exactly. And by the way, yo, that's a way to avoid spending a ton of money up front.
You just get the wireframes done. So you have somebody do every single page, and you just walk somebody through. You click that, this is what happens. You click that, and it's just on paper, but it actually is not functional. Then you take those wireframes to, of course, the app developer, and you get it, you bring it to life. But anyway, you go to the friends and family bootstrap, then you do a seed. And a seed is generally institutional, which means accredited. What accredited means is that they have $1 million net worth, or $200,000 in reported income for 2 years straight as an individual, or $300,000 as a couple, married couple. So when you think about just our network of just black people that was a slave, we're slaves, and we're dealing with Jim Crow, and we're dealing with all these things. In my mom's time, how much generational wealth do we have? I mean, how many of us are in our personal friends and family network are worth $1 million? This is just reality. We have some millionaire friends, but not enough to fund every or having access to them. Because as you imagine, as you probably know, when you're that one that makes it, everybody's in your pocket, and it's just like somebody posted, when a black tech founder makes it, or when a black founder makes it, it's their whole family they got to support.
That's right. It's not.
So you may not be able to go out and take your $200,000 and go invest because you're supporting your mother, your siblings, whoever else in your family, because you're the only one.
Absolutely.
You know, so what happens when these deals are done in the seed round? You have to be accredited to get in on those deals. You have to be rich already to get in on these deals. So you get on that deal, you raise a seed. You burn through that. Burn means spend it. They want you to burn fast to scale fast. Then they're like, come raise a Series A, which is another round of capital, which will be at a higher value of your business, and then they really just take more. Then you do a Series B, and they take more. Then you do a Series C. So I got into this cycle. I raised my seed. You know, I raised $900,000 total the first.
Congratulations, by the way.
I was about to be. I had offers for $1.5 million, but what was happening was they were like, "We'll give you $1.5 million at a $3 million valuation." That's half my business.
That's taking it,
and my product's not out. So if you're taking 50% now, and the product's not out, when I go raise my Series A,
you're done.
I'm diluted down. I'm less. And then Series B, I'm less. And then Series C, because you're getting spoon fed. Here's a little bit, do something. Here's a little bit, do something. And we'll take more of your company.
Exactly.
Founders are down to under 10%.
Which is crazy.
They're raising all these $1 million rounds. They don't have ownership or control. Because their docs are written where the VCs get a board seat. They come make the decisions. They tell you what to do. 9 times out of 10, they, of course, venture capital investors and your mentors, they're smart. They're business people. They're probably millionaires.
It's business,
But nobody knows your business like you.
That's right.
But they still want to tell you how to do it because they're protecting their money.
Exactly.
And when I seen that, after I took this money from all these investors and how I seen that they were behaving, and then I seen what would happen for my ownership. Keep in mind, I was working on this 5 years before I took any money from them. But they want 50%. And I already did the work. All I need is money to build the code. Everything else was done. I said no.
Unbelievable.
I said no, I'm not doing that. So then I started looking at other ways to raise money.
That's right.
And I'm like, what else can I do? So I had a 770 credit score. Can I get a business loan? I had the income. Couldn't get SBA loans.
Wow.
That's when I was like, okay, this credit game, it might not even be real because how can I have all these things and I should qualify like this with my credit history, with my credit score, with my no. So I'm like, okay, then I won't fund it by credit cards. What is another way? At this time, when I'm thinking about this in 2017, this is when I was already investing in cryptocurrency, like as an investor. I'm an investor, like I'm an active investor. You know, I started getting into investing in 2015 and just trading stocks among other things. So when crypto came out, I'm like, I'm about to try this. Why not? You know? But that taught me about blockchain because of trading Bitcoin and other tokens. And then I'm like, this is interesting. And then these companies are coming out with these ICOs, which is initial coin offerings, which is basically coming up with their own token, and selling it for investment money and raising 20, 30, 40 million dollars, crazy dollars. Black people, a black woman named Carissa McFarlane, she raised $7.9 million in like a week in the ICO.
That's bananas.
I was like, wait a minute.
Okay, right. That catches your attention in a serious way.
Wait a minute. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I started digging deep into that. Like, I can raise money in this way.
Yeah.
But the fact that I'd already taken so much money from institutional, there was boundaries on me.
Got it. Yep.
I can't do whatever I want. I already can't do whatever I want. It's my company. I'm the CEO, but I already can't do whatever I want.
Wow.
Already. So
very
I had to I had to be very. I had to really know what I was doing and really research it and get them on board. You know. And so I wanted to do the ICO, and of course they were like, no, don't do this, no. So I was like, okay. They told me flat out, like, if you do this, we're not doing any follow-up. We're done with you.
Okay.
Like, you know, we're done.
So major risk for you, yeah.
Major risk because, you know, they can't get paid off of that the way they want because I keep my ownership and they don't want you to do that.
Changes the game.
That's how they have these huge exits. That's how VCs make tons of money from early stage startups because they get most of the money at the end of the day. So they wasn't feeling me when I'm saying, you know, I want to raise money in a way where I keep control.
Got you.
I want to raise money in a way where you get common stock.
That's not the process for
you don't get preferred shares. You get common stock. So real quick lesson, common stock, there's levels, there's different classes of shares. Even like something like Berkshire Hathaway. You have a Class A share, which probably is like $1,000. Or you can go buy like Class B share, which there's way more of those, and they're traded and you can get them for cheaper. Right. But the Class A shares is what you want. Absolutely. Because they have voting, you go to the meetings and all that. Right. So preferred shares also means when there's an exit event, an IPO, a sale, they get paid first. That's right. Before the founder. Okay. I said, I'll be damned. I'll be damned if I work.
Get that money, you sit there.
And then the first checks go to y'all.
Right.
No, I wasn't comfortable with it. Okay. Now, my fault was I didn't fully educate myself on what taking VC money meant because I was drinking the Kool-Aid and I was lost in the sauce. Because I wanted to be to be one of the black women that could do it, and yes, I can do it. And so once I, you know, was awakened to what really was going on and looked at the ICO route, I was all in. Okay. But then the SEC, Security Exchange Commission, came in.
Go ahead.
SEC, which is that's who really governs the ability to accept money in the private sector, in the public sector, and everything that goes to the public market for IPOs, stock market, goes to the SEC filings, and that's how they upload their annual reports. That's how they say compliant, that they're not stealing money. Okay. And in the same way, when you're a private company, you have to file with the SEC all of the money that you raise, all of it. Yeah. And so the SEC was like, wait, y'all getting way too much money in these ICOs. They were calling it the Wild Wild West because it's unregulated. That's right. You could write a white paper, which is a deck. This is a deck that just details how you use blockchain, and just go raise millions. In the SEC, don't get no parts of it. The fact that a lot of these ICOs were done through cryptocurrencies, through Bitcoin, through Ethereum, they couldn't get their share.
Right. That doesn't work.
They couldn't get no parts of it.
Because it's a money game.
No parts of it. And people talking about we're going to be, you know, decentralized. And you could take the banks out of it. They wasn't feeling that. So real quick, legislation passed to change our ability to raise money in that way legally. Okay. And a lot of companies got fined, went to jail, and had to give money back. This is all in 2018. I'm watching this happen. I'm watching this happen, and I'm like, I'm not putting my company at risk, first of all, because I actually have a product, I have customers, I have a team, and I have investors, and I can't risk losing it all. I can't. It's not a white paper. It's a business. That's right. I can't risk losing it all. So what they did do is say, okay, listen, you can't do these ICOs in this way you were doing it, but we will allow you now to use a token as a security. Okay. So now officially, a token can be a security and be traded, which was groundbreaking, monumental,
and that's
for us.
That just began when?
2018.
That's right. Okay.
2018. So prior to that, they were like, a token, not a security. It ain't nothing. Got it. You're just selling stuff that's not even. It's like me saying, all right, here's a share in my company. Right. You can't just make up something like that. Right. So they regulated it, and then they put some new rules around how you can raise money, and they tied it in with the Jobs Act.
Okay.
Jobs Act passed 2012 by President Obama. Jumpstart our business startups, and it allowed entrepreneurs to raise money through their networks. First through crowdfunding for products. So you could go online and say, I want to put out a new type of, you know, motorcycle helmet.
Right.
And people say, I like that. I'll give you money to build it.
That's right.
And you crowdsource for a product.
Okay.
That was how it started. Indiegogo, Kickstarter. But then the laws passed, I think it was 2016, where you could actually do equity crowdfunding, and you could sell equity in your company to non-accredited investors.
And that's a big deal.
Groundbreaking legislation.
Yeah.
That I don't even think our community understands.
We don't.
Or knows.
Yeah.
That now, for the first time in the history of the United States and the SEC, unaccredited investors, non-accredited investors, if you make less than $300,000 as a couple, $200,000 as an individual, and you're less than $1 million net worth, but you're doing good and you want to invest and you want to create wealth, you can get in on early stage deals for the first time ever. You can get in before IPO for the first time ever. You can invest alongside major investment banks, major VCs for the first time ever.
It's a big, big deal.
I mean, there is a limitation. It's a limit of $1,070,000 per calendar year. But $1 million is a lot.
Absolutely.
And so when I started deep diving into that, I said, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up $1 million worth of my company to the public.
Yep.
And I want to give my community and my friends and family opportunity to eat off this with me.
Because
they believe it.
Yeah, they want to be a part of it, but you get closed out when you go to your accredited investment.
When I did my $900,000, when we raised money before, the minimum investment was $10,000, and you had to be accredited.
Yeah.
That blocked out all my friends, basically.
Yeah.
So now the minimum investment is $252.
Yeah. How about that?
And you just go online.
So $252. And anybody who's interested in being a part of this movement with Popcom can actually get in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's on Start Engine, startengine.com/Popcom. And of course I want people to invest in me and what I'm building.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you not really feeling Popcom, it might be too much, you're not interested. There are so many businesses out there raising money in this way. I say, you don't have to invest in me if you don't want to. Invest in something. Because that is how wealth is created. Investments. Getting in on early, taking a larger risk for a larger possibility of return. That's how the wealthy stay wealthy. That's how the wealthy kept us out of deals for the entire time we've been on this freaking continent.
Yeah. So 2018?
Under their governance. By the way, we've been here first. But under their governance, they have not allowed us. They have not allowed us to get into their deals. Now we can get into these deals. Now our communities can make money. Look at all these black tech founders out here. They're struggling to raise money. We don't need to raise. We don't need their money.
Yeah, it's
get it from our communities.
That's right.
Now there is an education, barrier there. Like my whole job now is just teaching people about secure token offerings, the Jobs Act, and that you can invest.
Okay.
I feel there's going to be a huge shift in the next few years. Once people wake up and say, wait a minute, I can get in on these tech companies early. I can be an investor. I can be an investor. I'm working at a call center. I can be an investor. Everyday people. And the valuable, I mean, I don't know whose logic it was that everyday people are not equally as smart and equally as worthy to get on these deals.
That's right.
But our forever President Obama, he left us with something. People always say, he did nothing for black people. He did that.
Yes, he did. He opened up a major
for
door
us
to give you equal
generate wealth.
True indeed.
For us to generate wealth. If he didn't do anything else because of politics, he did that.
And it's major. Now it's up to us to take advantage of it.
To do it. To support our own companies.
Get involved.
To raise money in this way. To, go to our communities for funding.
That's right.
And
gain support.
$1 million a year, you're good.
So let's talk about that as we get ready to wrap up, right?
Yes.
So you found out about this STO. You decided to go this route. You've gone this route. You have a campaign going on. How's it going? Are you getting the support that you thought from the community?
I am. So it's a hard process. I will say that it took me 4 months of due diligence, which is combing through your whole life. It's like the most intense credit check, background check. It's called a bad actor check. They go into your whole life to make sure that you can, and that's another barrier. You get vetted heavy to be able to take $1 million from, non-accredited, what they consider to be not educated investors. They're protecting the investor. They're protecting people from scams, which I get. They want to make sure I'm not a scammer. But I had to go through 4 months. They told me 12 days. So it took 4 months. And I started to feel like, do the powers that be, are they, you know, like, are they blacking me? Because they know once I come out, I'm going to just be blacker than black.
Yeah.
So, no, but it took 4 months. So it was hard. You know, I had to, for 4 months, we were running out of runway. It ran out of runway, but I still was like, I'm not taking VC checks. I'm not taking I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. But it was definitely worth it, and it launched on December 20th, right around Christmas, and I was nervous because I was like, it's Christmas time. You're on vacation, people shopping, will they even click on this? So in the first couple of days, we got 10,000 quick.
Nice.
So that was great because nobody wants to invest in something that nobody else is investing in.
That's right.
Especially us. Like, we had to see some movement on it. So now we've been live for 22 days, and I think we're like at 60,000 right now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And that's all been from my social media and my email list. We just started doing, because of the holidays, press releases, things, you don't do that in December.
It's too cloudy.
We just don't. So we just did our first press release December 7th. And it was like, you know, meet the black woman raising $900,000 for medical marijuana vending machines. People went crazy. DMs blew up. Email blew up. So we actually doubled our investment since last week. So we went from 30 to 60 in a week off of that press release.
That's outstanding.
So now, every week we're doing some new things. So I do interviews every single day, and we're doing more, you know, more press releases. Our partners Go Chain did a release today. And you know, we're just keeping the momentum going. My bottom line goal that I really need to scale is 250,000. I believe we'll reach that. It's a 90-day span, so a 90-day campaign. We have 63 days left. I mean, the maximum on my campaign is 943,000. I would love to max that out.
Definitely.
So I'm trying. You know, I have some major national radio appearances coming up.
Very good.
Major national publications and features coming up. And so we'll see how we can get that momentum. But most importantly for me, because I will say, I can still go out and raise money from accredited investors, from private wealthy individuals that I know and I am. So this round of $1 million from public is going to be followed with a larger round of multiple millions from accredited investors.
Absolutely.
And these investors who get in on this $1 million, their investment will grow pretty quickly once I get a higher valuation from these other investors. It'll happen that way. Did I lose my train of thought? No. So yes. So this is the only time to really get in on this. And so I really want people to understand, like, this is a one-time opportunity to get on this. If you don't get on this, there's a lot of other businesses. And for me, the education piece is the most critical. Because that is what my purpose. I educate founders. I have a podcast called Bars. Please check out Bars, Spotify, Google, Apple Music. It's a podcast that just walks you through the whole roadmap of entrepreneurship. I'm an entrepreneur in residence at Hillman, which is an accelerator in Cincinnati. And so educating people is my passion. And so, of course, I want to raise money, but I want us to understand we can get wealthy now. For the first time ever, we can get in on early stage deals.
Outstanding, outstanding. All right, y'all have heard it first right here from Dawn Dickson. Remember, on Columbus Black on Blast, we highlight movers, shakers, and creators. She is clearly doing all of those things. We're proud of you. We support you. And guess what? If you don't know how you can support her, she's going to tell you right now. What can they do immediately?
Go to startengine.com/Popcom. Popcom. You can also find me on every social media that's out there, and I'm talking about it every day, and I'm educating people about secure token offerings and about the Jobs Act and about Title III. So I've done recordings. Just go in there and consume that content and really educate yourself on investing. Invest in yourself by learning how to invest. It will help you, and it'll help the future of the culture.
Outstanding. All right. Well, Dawn, we want to thank you for coming on the show and allowing us to put you on blast. All right, so just remember this, right? In order to understand more about your future, you need to understand a little bit more about your past. That's the reason why we just put Dawn Dickson and Popcom on blast. Now, Dawn, I have a question for you. Has ColumbusBlack.com done anything for you?
Put me on blast.
All right, there we go. There you have it. That's how we do it each and every time. Just as a reminder, y'all, make sure you check us out at ColumbusBlack.com. That's how you find out about what's going on in the capital city. Don't forget to download Mile, where you can find events, share events, post events, and promote events tied to your location. And don't forget to check out our job board that we mentioned on ColumbusBlack.com as well. I want to recognize our sponsors, Marlon Gary Chapel of Peace Funeral Home. Make sure that you check out the video that they have at the end of our show. They have some enlightening information for you. I know you think about funeral homes, you think, I don't want to know anything about it, but you need to check out their video. It will make you laugh. In addition to that, Capital Transportation Academy is one of our new sponsors. We want to identify and recognize them for being a sponsor. If you're looking at getting a CDL, make sure you check them out at capitaltransacademy.com. And then I got two more. Don't forget to check out Perry Jeffries, our ECFO, at perryjeffries.com, and Burger Rim on High. That's how you get gourmet burgers. They're delightful, and there's gourmet burgers in a bar. So if you're looking at hanging out for the playoffs, watching the game, or just going out with the family, make sure you check out Burger Rim on High. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will catch you next time on Columbus Black on Blast. And I'm out.
Idle talk makes me nauseous. If it ain't about me and mine, we decline your invitation to bad vibes. I had my share of those in the past life. Ask for not, act right, say it loud. I am the greatest. Tell yourself I am the greatest. Like you mean it. I am the greatest. Act like you know. I am limitless with the melanin in my system. I can happy and do whatever I want. I'm never a victim. This is my kingdom. Educate myself on how the laws are flawed. Detach myself from straw. Withdraw all claims made in my name. Commence the life that I foresaw. Live out my days just like a king. Leverage my ace, not blackjack. More royal, more loyal. Your lawyer can explain how I became your employer. Bottom line, this land, my land. I hold the winning hand. You should fold, cause you were told. I am the winner. I am a champion. I am the winner. By the first day of January, year 2020.
Oh, it's a wonderful tribute.
For a wonderful person.
Oh, yes. She was a horrible person. She was so kind and giving. Although she borrowed my cookware and never returned it. Everything is so lovely here.
She looks so beautiful.
My God, how did they make her look so good?
Mother.
Oh, I was just admiring all the beautiful work that you do here. See, that's why I would not let my family take me to anywhere else but Marlon Gary Funeral Home, Chapel of Peace.
That's right.
That's
it's
right.
Mighty fine.
Mighty fine.
Incredible.
Right. Yes. Marlon Gary Funeral Home, Chapel of Peace.
On your way to heaven, stop by here.